There he comes now. It's time then. Yeah. Time to animal motherfucker pound. I need to get in the rest of that shit. I swear. I got a comic from Mage's Comics and Games up there in Indy. And I need to finish, but God, dude. Too many comics, ladies and gentlemen, and know in that there's always a comic out there for you. I am the Unknown Factor, aka that Wade Wilson of hip hop. But this ain't on no alien tip, ladies and gentlemen. It's the questionnaire, which means we're going to talk comics, right? Of all kinds. And today, we get into some astounding tales with Raymond Griffith. I did that all right. No, maybe, no. Look, yeah.
It's perfect.
I fucking hate. Look, man. And I don't feel like yours should be as difficult as it's been. It's kind of annoying me. I don't know why it is. In all
I
sincerity.
genuinely apologize for my name.
No, dude, you don't have to. Look, but I've come to the conclusion, and I've said this before in a past quest. With comic creators, it's one of two things. Either have you had people have problems with your last name? I'm curious.
I gotta say, it's the first time. It's usually the first name. They call me Brandon every time.
Everybody loves Raymond, bro.
Exactly.
I mean, come on. What's hard about that one? Whatever. Maybe I just did too much of something earlier. Whatever. At least we don't. Yeah, we don't get into that, right? What we're gonna get into is comics. And man, so I went through that first issue, and right off the bat, Raymond, I gotta know, what do you all got planned there? Because I feel like you're planning a lot, and then you might hate me for what I say after you answered this question.
Oh, scary.
I'm honest, man, and I want to let you know that like there's a possibility I might have some critique, and you might be like, "You asshole."
Well, let me just say, for the record, I am the artist. Okay, I draw the pictures. I ain't writing the words. I'm not developing the plot. So if you have thoughts, criticisms, I can direct you to Mr. Jake Scott Cohen. He is our author, and he'd be more than happy to entertain you in that respect.
I mean, he's more than welcome to come on the show too. I want to point out we always like to have comic creators on. I'm not saying anything like there was just one thing in that comic specifically that I was like, and we'll get into that after we get into this. You don't remember the question I asked you either, do you?
No, I'm sorry. We're dealing with a little bit of a delay. I was making sure I wasn't talking over you. No, so the way Jake describes it, there are two types of writers. There are architects and there are gardeners. The architects, they plan. They have thoughts and ideas of how things are going to go. The gardeners, they put it in the ground and see what comes up. Jake is a gardener. So that's kind of the answer to that question.
Very, very, very well drawn. It's very smooth to look at, but I can't pick on you about what I want to pick on you. I guess I kind of can't. Look, dude. When you were drawing the brain robot and the monkey, did you not? Was part of you not thinking a certain pair of characters?
Oh, you're just trying to figure out if they are they're inspired by other characters. Yes, definitely. There's no secret about that.
Okay.
There are lots of little references in the book
There
that are deliberate.
And that's fine. And like as someone I've read comics forever, and I'm aware. I mean, without Sherlock, there is no Batman. If you want to take it back that far, Captain Ahab, no Namor. You know what I mean? I mean, there's huge references. That's why I love it when Deadpool kills everything. That's one of the funniest books I think I've ever read. He's just like, you know what? I don't want to be here no more, so I'm gonna kill what inspired everything, and then it just will stop. Like, so I get that, but that one, man, to me, just seemed a little heavy-handed.
Well, that's fair. If it makes you feel any better, originally he was a gorilla, and I was like, no, we have to change this. He's got to at least be a different primate, so we made him a chimpanzee.
Okay, if he'd have been a gorilla, that would have been a little much, man. Like to the point where I don't know, DC might have been like, that's a little much, man. And
Hey, it wouldn't be my first cease and desist, okay?
how many have you received, Raymond?
Look, when I was doing my own business, I primarily made my money drawing a copyrighted toy and copyrighted toy versions of characters who were copyrighted. So, you know, it happens.
So apparently everyone doesn't love Raymond in this particular case.
It's never been the case.
Ah, man, that's. I didn't think we were gonna get into legal issues, but I guess the last episode we were getting into mob stories, so why not? Right? That's just apparently how it rolls over here. Sometimes we get into things that, yeah, whatever. Don't.
Well, look,
I'm
I'll
curious.
just say it's all very inspired by the classics. That's all Jake's deal. He loves everything about it, and I get where he's coming from. But at the same time, we are definitely wanting to blossom out and do more of our own thing, which I think you'll see as we go on.
Well, it's not that, man. You can inspire great things from great. Look, like I love the Sentry. All right, I love that
Mm-hmm.
character. I never, dude. It took me so long to appreciate Superman as a character. I'm talking like it was in the midst of running this show and a couple creators saying a few things, and I was just like, shit, you sold me on a character. Like I'm still not a big fan of the character, but like you sold me of the concept. But before that, dude, I hated that SOB. Right? Like I hated Superman. And this is, again, I've read comics since I could read. Hey, now I'm gonna be straight up with you, but I love the Sentry. So that's not to say that something inspired by something else can't at least be greater in someone else's view. You know what I mean? Because that's very much the case for that. Which, like I said, because I'll take the Sentry all day, and I don't read Superman. So I think that's fine to take
They
inspiration.
listen, Marvel, DC, they've all been stealing from each other for 70 years. We're just continuing a wonderful tradition.
No, let's get into something else though, man. You said you've gotten into these cease and desist. Now you got into them for. Can you not even specify what you were drawing?
No, I could specify. So I draw Lego caricatures. That's why my name is Funny Figs, because mini figs. Well, uh, occasionally I would draw these characters, like, say, of Superman as a minifig, or say, the Power Ranger or whatever. And occasionally those companies find you on the internet and they say, hey, stop doing that. And I say, okay, sure.
I mean, I only think that's interesting because if you think about it, within the comic book business, there are a lot of artists
Mm-hmm.
that draw comic book characters like
Mm-hmm.
all day, man. But do you? And I mean, I've never in all the artists I've had on. I mean, there's a lot I could name. There's and guys that have worked for everyone. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
literally, they've worked for everyone in the industry, but still they draw these characters that are all copyrighted characters, and then they sell sketches of them, this and that, and that's never a problem. Why do you think it is you got hit? Like that seems odd to me based on every other artist I've spoke to, Raymond, that you got cease and desist. And I know dudes that draw, like I said, the big two characters all the time and sell them, no
It
issue.
may depend on the platform they use. Etsy tends to be pretty nasty about it.
Yeah, I don't think any of them use Etsy.
Yeah, that'll get you.
Yeah, I don't. I think that's where you're getting hit. Then, all right,
Yeah.
all
Well, I
right.
don't do it anymore. I don't sell on Etsy anymore. But
So curious. Then, when you stopped selling on Etsy, did the cease and desist stop?
yeah, I haven't gotten any sense. It just, I may exaggerate a little. It wasn't like 100 of them. It's only
Well, I
happened
mean,
like
I didn't think it
twice.
was 100, man. I think what, like three, four?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
twice.
All right. Yeah. No, I didn't. I didn't think you got 100 of them, dude. Jesus. Like. I would hope not. Like I think if you've gotten 100 of them, um, you're in trouble. And I'm probably not having this interview with you because you probably at some point hit the same company more than more than two or three times, and they're just like, "Hey, dude, screw you! You keep taking our characters. We're suing the shit out of you. We're not even playing with the cease and desist no more."
No, that's the sign of success when you get C and D, because they see you and they go, "Oh, this guy's making money we should be making."
Oh, well, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what any big corporation is gonna do. So what got you into art initially, man? And then what spun it to where you were drawing Lego figs?
Well, my origin story is that in third grade, I was hanging out with my friends who were starting an art club. And to get an art club, you had to draw a Tyrannosaurus Rex. I drew it. I thought I did a damn good job. Showed it to them, and they said it wasn't good enough to get in the art club. So I made it my personal mission to get good enough. And I've been doing it ever since.
So literally piss and vinegar.
A little bit, a little bit. I mean, I love drawing, but it just stuck with me that they were like, "No, it's not good enough." And I was like, "No, I did a good job. Look at this thing. Are you kidding? Look at this."
That's totally okay, bro. That's completely what Erica Schultz runs on. All right, is piss and vinegar. I mean, she said so herself on the show. That's what keeps her going. And she's doing shit for Marvel, the Deadliest Bouquet. So no, piss and vinegar can be a great driving force if well used. You know what I mean? So there's nothing wrong with that, but it's hilarious. So what made it to where you ended up drawing a lot of minifigs then? I keep saying that word. I'm
Well,
gonna get us a cease and desist.
no, you'll be all right. The thing is, I was a big nerd when I was younger. I collected a lot of Lego. I was into it. I went to the conventions, all that stuff. And, I was in the world. At the same time, I did caricature for a living. That was my job. I started when I was 16. And, it didn't take too much math to say, "Oh, hey, look, you got it right there. Cool. You understand me. We're simpatico here."
Wait, dude, these are just look. I love the little robot with the minifigs, and this is the only one I have that's not Marvel. I wish they made Image ones, but that's a whole nother point. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna pull them all out. I'm not gonna. I guess let me see. How well? See, forgot my damn phone was on charge. Let me. Haha.
Now you're sideways.
Hey, it's cool. There was a quick edit, y'all. There was a quick edit, real quick. All right.
Incredible. Look at that collection. Stunning.
Yeah, man. I dig some Legos. I do. I think there's a enjoyable thing about building them. I think they're very. Um, I think if there are two things that you can get children into at a young age that will very much help them fundamentally, um, that have always been considered for children. As I drop Boba Fett. Fuck, I dropped Boba Fett, dude. Fuck.
Damn it.
Boba Fett, where? On the floor. Um, it's it's comics and Legos because I think those two things. One, you can find so many different spectrums of them, right? Yeah, I'm same dude. I love them both, but you can find so many different spectrums of them as far as there's a comic for everything and there's a Lego for everything. Especially, well, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, especially nowadays, I mean, there's a Lego for everything, and they teach two completely different concepts that I think are very helpful within the world.
Yeah, definitely. Visual learning, planning, all that kind of stuff.
Sorry,
Now, to be fair, I
yeah,
am in recovery. I'm not a collector anymore. Okay, I had a bad habit and I put it to bed, but I still appreciate them.
uh, I mean, I don't. What's a bad habit?
When you are hiding it from your spouse and spending more money than you should be.
How much fucking money? And well, and that's the thing. That's the, I get, and that's the real screwy thing I never thought of. If you look at the two things I just mentioned, they're great for helping the mind. They're two great things to give children that will very much help them excel because it'll just help them on so many different levels. But there are also two things that are pretty damn expensive.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh
if you're
yeah.
buying like a big Lego set a week, like that's too
Well,
much, bro.
let me put it in perspective for you. They started making Lego superhero in like 2012. From the years 2012 to 2018, I had a complete collection of every minifig they'd made. So maybe
What
that'll help.
just the minifigs though?
Yeah, just the superhero minifigs. That doesn't sound like a lot, but you have to buy the sets to get them.
Oh, so you bought all the sets.
Almost, and with a few exceptions where I would just go online and buy the individual figs, but even then, that'd be $10 a pop at minimum.
I didn't freeze, I assure you. I just
Okay,
I just Jesus, bro. That's like that's like heroin to you apparently.
I said I had a problem.
I mean yeah, whoo, and just for the like cuz I assume you had to buy some bigger sets for certain minifigs.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I had the Helicarrier, I had the Avengers Tower, I had all the big ones.
Did you build these?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Okay. Okay. Because if you told me you just bought them for the minifigs and then never built them,
I'm not that crazy.
okay. I'd be like, what the hell's wrong with you? I'm ending this interview. I don't want to talk to this gentleman anymore. He said he literally bought $200 Lego sets just for the minifigs.
We've all got our foibles.
And fair enough. But I mean, it is true. Imagine, like, if those were just cheaper. I feel like it could just help the world. Like,
It would be really nice.
man. I mean, there's a lot of things that would be really nice, man. What made you decide to no shit, man. See, I prepped for questions that I needed for the writer. I should have looked at the credits
I'm
page.
sorry. I didn't realize you didn't know I was the artist. We got to get
I was
Jake on
just
here. Let me
booking
call
people.
him.
I was just booking people quick online through some madness, and was like, yeah, come on the show. Yeah, come on the show. Whatever. We're not gonna talk about this story no more. But I do want to know, what
Hey,
do
I can
you?
answer the questions about the story.
All right,
I'm
well, what do
pretty
you think?
intimately familiar with it.
What
Let's
do you
do it.
think?
Let's see
All
what
right.
happens.
Well, why did he decide to go so political? And what are your thoughts on that as far as in the entirety of bringing in Cobalt and such?
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's a good question, and I can't say exactly why this was the subject matter that caught him, but one of the things that Jake and I both agree on is that comics can say more than just they can do more. And I think that in the olden days they did do more. There was always a little lesson in the back. There's always some moral to the story. That's why we tell these stories. It's not just to see a guy punch another guy, although we do like that part.
Hey, sometimes it's to see like a plush bite someone's head off too, because that shit's funny.
Exactly. And yeah, and we want to have a good time. Top priority for this comic is always cool imagery, fun stories, but there's room to say something about the world because these things don't exist in a vacuum. You can't write a comic that's quote not political because this life is political. Everything has something to say about something. You know what I mean?
If I think if you tried to write a comic that was completely not political, there's part of me that's like I could see somebody trying that and then being like, "Why did you say all these balls?" It's like, dude, I was literally just trying to, because
What
you're
would it
right.
be about? Because it can't have a criminal in it because that's laws, there's a criminal justice system you're dealing with, police. So who are they fighting? What are they doing? I guess aliens maybe, but even that is immigration in some aspects or diplomacy. I mean, it's everywhere.
You're just making me think of an episode. You ever watch Always Sunny in Philly?
I have. I watched it for a little while. Yeah.
All right, where they're making, I think, Lethal Weapon 7 or some shit. I'm not even sure, they made so many in it, and they're like, well, we got to find a villain that don't like show any negative towards anybody, and I think they end up using a wave or like a tidal wave at one point.
Yeah, I guess that's a story you could tell, but even then, it's just impossible.
Well, yeah, because I mean they've done stories about like huge tidal wave coming, and it becomes a thing of like a whole political masquerade of who can get saved and who can't, and this and that. So you're always going to have that aspect.
There
You're
you go.
right.
Inequality. Yeah,
Yeah,
right
yeah. I mean,
there.
it's good. Who's got the helicopter? You know what I mean? Like that's just factual. Not everybody's going to have one. Uh, Bill Burr will be okay.
I'm dead. I'm just letting you know. I'm getting bit right away.
I'm in. Oh, what if it was zombies?
Or whatever.
Oh,
Wave,
oh, you
whatever it
said
is, it's taking me out.
you said bit, and I was like, my brain just instantly. We said Walking Dead, and I just yeah, I got a problem, man. Sorry, my brain associates and disassociates too many things all at the same time. It's a fucking
Hey.
problem. Yeah, it's a fucking problem. It really is. All right. I need to turn that laptop a little. Sorry, so I can read this more directly. I'm just
All
gonna
good.
chop
I
that
like
bit
that
aside.
shirt, by the way.
I'm just thank you, thank you. You know what? Funnily enough, I was talking to Scott Wojak earlier, and he was literally sketching this image of Venom.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just
Should I
another.
be drawing right now? Is that something that's
Why you want to draw? Go ahead and draw, bro. Uh, you wouldn't be the first person to draw on the show. Yeah, that got drawn on the show.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
That thing looks beautiful. I
that's
can't quite see that signature though. Who did that?
Mike Ruth, the uncouth one. And yeah, yeah, Mike is, Mike is, and Mike's one of those guys again. Look, like well, he has gotten paid to draw this particular individual being Swamp Thing as well too, though. Like he's done covers for DC. But yeah, he's another individual. Like I said, he does. Man, I'm just saying, it's just Etsy. Apparently, yeah, you can't sell copyrighted things on Etsy, and you have to learn the lesson the hard way.
They will
Yeah,
spank you.
yeah. But why, man? So you want to be able to just heal people and have perfect health? Why ain't you just healing everybody?
Well, because I'm a horrible person.
I'm just saying that seems a real weird line to draw, Raymond. Like, I don't get it. Like, you're like who I choose. Why just who you choose? Why can't you just make everybody good, man?
Yeah. Well, that's the whole root of the question. You know, are you a selfish person and just going to wish for something for yourself, or are you going to do something for everybody? And you're right. The right answer is you need to make everyone well. You need to make everyone better. And I looked in my heart and I said, Raymond, are you that person? Are you really that person? And I don't know, man. I think I might not be.
But I mean, you would accomplish your wish with that wish.
Right. That is true. You know what? That's all right. I will reverse it, edit it. We'll just go back and say that's what I said.
No, it's not. That's what I'm saying. Look, you know what that shows? Man, you didn't give them three wishes enough thought. I'm telling you. Because you don't want answers to every question that you personally have ever had. Because I guarantee you'd get some answers you really didn't fucking want. Because all of us would. I don't say that just because, but there's no person that hasn't asked a question that if they got the answer to, it would fuck with them.
That's fair. That is very true.
Right? Right.
Yeah.
So in one, you're just like giving benefit to a small amount of people when you're just giving it to everyone and accomplished your whole wish. The next one, you're gonna mentally devastate yourself, right?
I
And
was thinking more like questions of the universe type thing, but you know what? That's fair. That's fair.
but you said any question. And it's
True.
gonna, and that means every question that you've ever asked, you're suddenly gonna have answered.
That's
I,
very true.
I think that might just break you mentally. Not
Well, I
even
finally
just
know who keeps taking my charging cables. That's the important thing. That's what I really want to know. Someone keeps moving them. She says it's me. I say it's her. One of us is doing it. I need to know who.
you definitely don't want that. No, man, that's not gonna help with when you just know everything literally. Dude, that's not gonna help in your relationship either. That's all I'm saying. Didn't you see how it worked for Doctor Manhattan?
That is a great point. That is an excellent point.
I mean, I try to have good ones, you know. Sometimes they just take me a moment longer to get to than I'd like to. But then your last wish, I literally don't think you'd ever get to wishing it as far as just figuring out what would be most beneficial. I think, and not even necessarily from something you learned, but just from the sheer amount of knowledge you would gain from getting an answer to every question you would ask. I think it would break your brain, dude. I don't think you could mentally handle it.
That's fair. That's fair. Hey, maybe that's what I'm looking for is just to find out everything and then to just collapse into a single point.
So you're trying to kill us all. After
Yes.
right after you heal the people that you want to.
Yes, that's the goal. You got me.
Raymond, that's kind of a dick move.
That's fair. That's fair. See, there's power. That's the secret behind all that. All those things give me power, and then people will respect me. They'll say, "Oh, this guy's really smart, and he can heal me. We gotta be nice to that guy."
But you've already destroyed the earth, man. I really think no, man. I don't see this. Look, I really think with your wishes, whether you want to or not, you're gonna end up a supervillain, is my point.
Never denied it.
I'm glad I'm not really giving out three wishes, is all I know. Like I'm serious. Like if I'm glad I'm just not really giving out three wishes to people because I would have like the earth would have ended by some of the wishes that I've gotten. I've got no doubt in my mind, and then yeah, it would. I don't know what would have happened. It would have. I need to compare all these wishes and be like, so who is the most fucked up that's been on the show?
I was gonna say, who's got the worst wish? It can't be me. Someone must be more terrible.
Dude, you're like the 83rd or 4th or something around that line. I don't know exactly. And I didn't actually even initially ask that question for a number of episodes. I couldn't exactly tell you how many. Um, I don't know who's got the worst wish or the who did the worst wish. If y'all want to go check the Patreon. I have most of the questionnaires up. I know I need to probably get like 5 or 6 or 7 up as it stands that aren't up there, but you could go support the show and you can find out everyone's wish and everyone's questionnaires. They're all listed there from all the silly shit I made them answer that sometimes we don't even get into because you know. Sometimes I just want to make somebody answer a silly ass fucking question. Just why the hell not, man? See, my boy had to get sick today, dude, and it threw me off a little. And I went through your questionnaire, and then I read your comic real quick after he finally crashed out after being sick. And I didn't get a chance to go back through your damn questionnaire to note what I needed to note. And it's sticking with me a little. So, what do you do in time management situations? I'm curious. Somebody, because you obviously have to handle doing the comic. I assume you got a normal job.
Yeah, I have a 9 to 5.
All right.
Unfortunately, I
All
do
right.
that.
Yeah.
I have my daughter. All the family stuff.
Okay. So, and I totally get that. So this is why I specifically, and I relate to this question, and I know many of our past guests do as well. How do you go about balancing all that to where you make sure nothing falls on its face?
I would never say that nothing falls on its face with what I'm doing. Things frequently fall on its face. But I have a lot of stuff that I can fall back on. I think that's probably where I would say my strength is always having a plan B that I can just pivot to, and we'll just do this now. I'm not going to be stuck on, oh, that didn't work. Okay, next thing. Let's just keep going.
So, like, what do you mean when you say that? I mean, because you're doing art as well. What do you mean, like, as far as a point where you're like, oh, that didn't work, and you don't want to continue to try? Like, how do you know you've reached that moment, and it's something you just need to flip and do something else?
Usually you got to take a day and you got to stop and look back at what you've done and say, all right, this whole thing, it's just not happening. Let's just put it in the can and move on to the next thing. You know what I mean? Just take a night.
What now does that just relate to a page, or like
Yeah,
character
I'm primarily
design, or?
thinking of art in that answer.
I mean, okay, so that's like what's the worst example of that you've ever like had happen to you? Like, is there one that just you kept going back to, and then you gave it a night, and you go back to, and you're like, I got to give it another, and like, has there been instances where it's drove you crazy like that?
I mean, there's at least 5 panels that existed for a year in the comic that I just completely redrew in the last month because I kept looking at them and I just was like, all right, these are gone. Can't do it. And there's about 2 or 3 more that I'm still planning to redo before we actually print the thing.
You know, at a certain point, you just have to accept it, or it'll never get released, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's and that's the thing. It's done for the most part. Like, one of the important things for me for this whole project was to have the book drawn before we even thought about launching, because I hate making people wait. We didn't have the book finished the first time we kickstarted, and it was like 6 months to get it finished, and every minute was agonizing for me. Every delay, I was like, no, no, no. I hate this. I hate that I'm doing this to you. I'm not doing it again. So it'll get out on time for sure.
Well, how do you know going about it then? Like when you're looking through the book, what makes something stick out to you that doesn't work? Is it the fact that it's a line that you just don't like, or is it more often that you feel like you can make it fit the story better in the context of what you're trying to tell?
It's always just looking at it, and if you there's a trick where if you flip the canvas, all of a sudden it's a new image to your eyes. It doesn't look like something you drew. It's just something you're seeing, and then all of the flaws will jump right out at you. So that's just a handy little trick to figure that out really quick.
If you flip the canvas, like flip it over and then just flip it back.
No, like you would rotate it so an image is facing this way, and then it's facing this way. Does that make
Oh,
sense?
so yeah. So you're doing it digital.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Because I'm just sitting there like, how in the hell would you do that with a piece of paper?
Hey,
But
man, you take a picture. You take a picture, print it out, flip it in the computer, and then print it out. You
well,
couldn't draw it like that, but you could at least see the flaws.
or if you've got a board that's got a light behind it, you know what I mean? You can flip it that
Also
way as
good.
well. So, I mean, yeah, so I guess it is possible. But just when you initially said that, my brain was like, the fuck is he drawing on? And then, yeah, but I forget how common it is digital is now, man. I mean, so you started out on pen and paper. What made you decide to go to the digital side of things and not stay on pen and paper?
Man, the first time I got that tablet and I started drawing on it, I was like, oh, this is so much easier. Why would I go back?
Now, why do you think it makes it easier?
It's just the fact that you can use layers to plan things, you can create underdrawings, you can decide something doesn't look good, and just, instead of having to redraw the entire thing to make the arm go 2 inches higher, you just move that arm. Just move the arm up 2 inches. I mean, there's no comparison.
It's fun. So, what's your opinion on AI art?
It's gonna be that kind of show,
What?
huh?
Well, what does that mean? What does it
All
mean? It's
right,
gonna be
all
look,
right, all right.
look. You see what I got
Look,
behind me? Come on, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. You see that? All right. Come
I
on.
see it.
No.
It's beautiful,
And
and
I
I
get
love
that.
traditional artwork. I love doing
Yeah.
it. I'm not saying I don't like it. It's just not as easy. That's
Oh, well,
all
no,
it
no,
is.
no. Fuck, no, it's not. Look, I've seen. There's a reason when we did the Amalgamating Aliens show, which is a PanCon we did where I had 5 great artists come on, and they all drew a different variation of an alien. Now, Tony Fleece, who does all kinds of great work. You guys need to go look him up, check out his quest. It's several episodes back, like quite a few. Um,
Okay.
was doing it digitally, and he was done far quicker than anyone else, but it looked great. But, and I'm not saying anything against it. I was just curious what your opinion of AI art was based on the fact that there are people that draw like that do have a problem with people that draw digitally. I don't, dude. I don't care. I couldn't fucking do it either way. I'm, I impress myself with some of the goddamn graphics I make for this show, and I know fucking if people look the way I do it, they'd be like, "That's not art," and I'd be like, "Bitch, I never said it was. Shut the fuck up. I said it was a graphic for the show." And they'd be like, "Well, you didn't say it was art." But no. Um, but when people think of AI art, that's a whole different discussion, and one we've discussed on the show with a lot of different creators up to and including having a PanCon about it. I was just curious what your perspective was. Why does that make this kind of show too? Answer that question first, actually. What the fuck?
Because, man, you're gonna make me say something that's gonna make half the people watching angry, and the other half, try to defend me, and then we're gonna have a fight, and I don't want it.
No, man. See,
But
let's do this, and then I'm actually gonna go and put this shit on TikTok, and then they can go argue about it.
okay, all right, all right, all right. Look, I don't particularly like AI art because at the core, it's something that's going to put me out of a job. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't like that. That makes me sad. I like doing what I do. Yeah, and I think mechanically, it's really hard to compare moving your hand to create a mark versus just inputting words to create an image that's close to kind of what you're picturing. Does that make sense? I just don't think they're as much of a comparison. If anything, I would say it's closer to writing than it is to drawing or painting.
Yeah, by far, I would completely agree with everything you just said. I wonder if did you just think I was going to completely disagree with you and be pro AI art? I'm curious.
I had no idea. I didn't know your stance. I was like, oh God,
I
what's gonna
know.
happen?
Just that's why I wasn't saying shit until you gave your response because I was like, I want to hear what he says because I don't think he dude. I've read comics since I was like forever, like since I can remember. Like it's what taught me and gave me my vocabulary. You really no, I don't want those people to be replaced by computers who are pathetically putting out shit. Like I watched Secret Invasion, but it was kind of begrudgingly. It's only because I like Samuel L. Jackson so well. But that intro.
I turned it off after the intro.
Dude, I watched it. Really see. I mean, the show was pretty good. I enjoyed the show. All right,
Okay.
but I really like Samuel L. Jackson. I'm not gonna lie, as an actor, like I've always been a fan of his. Right, and that's the main reason I was like, cool. Nick Fury's actually getting his story, and it's it's Nick Fury from the Ultimate series. You know what I mean? That's what it is because he was Samuel L. Jackson in those comics. Um, but that opening,
Yeah, it was rough.
and the fact that I sit there and watch that opening, and I go, I know so many people like that have been on the show, and they would all make something that looked far superior to this, like every single one of them. And yeah, I don't know how that got by with a studio at that level. It kind of amazes me, and it does. No, it's not something I ever want to see, and I very much agree. Like I said, like you said initially, it's not art, man. You are writing a story that something else is interpreting, and you know what? That's what you do.
Yeah,
Like literally,
and that's
that's
the
what.
thing.
Yeah.
It's so hard because I will admit it does a really good job a lot of times. I've seen some amazing things, and I learned it was AI, and I was like, oh, damn, I really like that.
Doesn't that suck?
Yeah,
Like, Like you see it and you're like, hey, that's cool. That's AI art, motherfucker.
Damn
Like,
it.
like don't tell me that's AI art. I just said I liked it. You son of a. Yeah, yeah. But I think it's a. I don't know, man. I think it's a very treacherous slope.
Mm.
I don't know
Well,
what else you would
the
refer to
one thing
that.
I'll say is it's not going away. It's never going to go away. So we got to live with it.
Yeah, I don't think there's no way AI art will cease to exist because and I mean unless it comes down in some kind of crazy lawsuit. But I think it's funny that people look and they don't understand that one, it's not AI in the capacity that people think of AI. You know what I mean? Because I
Mm-hmm.
like to like if fucking Joe Schmo out and pick a fucking state, right? I don't give a shit. Just Joe Schmo in any state. You walk up, hey man, what do you think of AI? That's like Terminator, The Matrix, or some funky shit like that. That is not AI art. AI art is in no way. Could it lead to that one day between it and Chat GPT or Chat GPT? Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
GPT.
yeah, GPT. Um, you can tell I don't ever say that. I just heard it on South Park in that episode that one time. I think it's funny. I don't use that shit. Between those two things, though, I could start to see it take form. That could be fun, but it's not what either of those things are. And I think people fail to understand that. Uh, I mean, I know there was a lawsuit that just came down. Did you see that?
Uh, which lawsuit?
I don't know, man. There's so many, and I ain't got time to keep track. Do you?
You aren't reading the law journals? No, I don't know the lawsuit, man. Tell me about it.
I don't know, man. They apparently just made some judgment. I think it was with oh God, see, I shouldn't even have said anything because I don't have the information. I told you. I told you I don't read it. You're the artist, man. You're the one supposed to be keeping up with this. It don't affect my job, right? I mean, I guess I
No,
might end up having
that's
to.
not me. That's my bad.
Yeah, I guess I might end up having to talk to a computer about the comic book they drawn, and they're using Chat GPT to respond to me, and that could be really fucked up, right?
That would be kind of interesting. That would be a fun experiment one time.
I Uh, I wonder if you could get Chat GPT, tell it, I want you to respond to me like you are a comic book artist that drew your art through AI. I don't want that story. Shit, fuck that story, man. That story, yeah, that story would be the Bone, but Bone was excellent. But yeah, and you're right in that. But yeah, no, I don't want that. I don't want that story. That story would be bone fucking headed, right? No, why? I thought for a minute, can I be real honest, when you were like, "Oh, it's going to be that kind of show."
Uh-huh.
I was like, "Is he about to be fucking pro AI art?"
Not a chance in hell.
Yeah, for a second, I thought you were gonna swing that totally the other way on me, man.
Yeah, you didn't notice the entire comic was drawn with AI? I didn't lift a pen.
Actually, they did do that and have released a comic that was entirely drawn in AI.
Oh, I bet it wasn't any good.
I did not get a chance to check it out. Dave, who works over at Mages Comics and Games, he can catch on either my Facebook Live, it might be the Questionnaires Facebook Live. I don't know. We ran it on my actual real Facebook Live last time because I hate when technology will not bend to my will. All right. God damn it. You're a piece of machinery. Do what I told you to. This is why I don't want true AI.
My brother is a computer engineer, and he says the worst thing we ever did was teach rocks how to think.
Teach rocks how to think.
Yeah, computers, silicon.
That's an interesting statement from a computer engineer.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it really, really is, man. The worst thing we ever did was teach rocks how to think. I don't know. Without computers, though, man, there's where would we be as a civilization had we not had computers? Look, we wouldn't be having this interview right now. I'll tell you that much. Without all of that, without
No.
Cobalt, bro, this don't happen.
It's true. It's true. And that is an excellent tie-in to the comic because if the people don't know, cobalt is a vital mineral for phones and computers and stuff like this, and it is frequently mined from, countries that are being exploited to get it, and the people's there. So, just a little bit of guilt for your evening. You're welcome.
Hey, that's why I got a line in one of my tracks. It's your suicide nets. I don't. It's man. God, I can't remember some of the whole. Look, the gist of it is where they make your phones. There's suicide nets. All right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, where they
Oh,
make your phone. There's suicide nets. Oblivious, blind, don't care. Your choice. Right. There's something long. Look, I'd have to start the verse at the beginning. I'm not running my shit like that. But that's the point of it.
There's
It's like
there's
literally,
a
yeah.
saying from a person I used to watch. We shouldn't wish for a perfect world because in it, you and I wouldn't exist.
I, I don't know about you and I, right? But because I would like to see, I mean, there's a lot of like fundamental change I'd like to see. Like we were saying, Legos and comics were so expensive. Okay, that's fine. But imagine if, like, minimum wage for pretty much anyone was, $20 an hour, right?
Right.
And they actually used proper heavy machinery where it was needed as opposed to killing people and didn't worry about flying some jackass billionaire up in a rocket. Why don't we shove a rocket up his ass and blow him off into fucking space? Nobody needs see. I'll tell you what. You want to use AI? Damn, I agree with Alan Henry. I mean, he might have been a bear on cocaine, but don't worry about it, right? But Alan Henry made a very fine point. AI, and he said it for CEOs. That's what you use. It replaces CEOs of corporations. Then you don't have these jackasses up top taking way more than they ever deserve, and then you could equalize things, and you could make it to where society wasn't so terrible. Because the people, and maybe the guy that made that statement was a complete piece of shit jackass millionaire, and would be in line with he wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? But I ain't got that kind of fucking money to where I feel like, look, if I got my boot on somebody's throat right now, I don't know how, right? Like, I don't think the people that have the boots on the throats are they typically have a lot of money, you know?
It's true.
And
It's
those
true. But
assholes, yeah, you could replace.
I was gonna say I think what the saying is trying to say is all of us, even us, kind of on the bottom here, we all benefit from the exploitation of others. Everything we have, everything we do, came from someone else's pain. Not everything, but you know what I mean. Like all the nice things, somebody had to work in a factory and slam that together and break their fingers to get it done. You know what I mean?
But I guess it depends, man. I've worked in places like that where you better not move wrong, you'll die. It's called Amazon. Yeah. Uh, you know. Um, so I mean, if you're working in that kind of place and you make it to where the wages for all those places are fair, you're
Mm-hmm.
getting paid for the amount of work that you're doing. That means that when you go home from that job, you're able to be comfortable just like everybody fucking else. You know what I mean?
Sure. Right.
So if you equal that out, man, I don't know. I mean, because then it's not exploitation, it's you're getting for what you're giving. And I know technically you could go into the whole cash and forced slavery, but this is the system we've set up with is money in the world. The world is money, right? Nobody fucking trades goods anymore. Everybody want to go back to that? I don't know what the hell we're due, bro. I mean, I could trade video editing services. I fucking guess. Like,
You don't have any chickens?
all right. No, but I mean, I could change some slight car maintenance. I don't know. I mean, a thing or two here or
There
there.
you go.
I am. I'm a jack of many trades, a master of none. I just do a lot of random shit, man. What can I say? So you have to kind of go off the fact that we'll be a market of money. But if you can make it, like I said, where people are actually getting paid the proper amount for the work, and there weren't these fucking elitist assholes up top, man. You know what? Everybody could afford more Legos and comics.
I like that this interview went to Eat the Rich. I didn't know we were going to go there, but it works for me.
I mean, if there's one concept I'm really down with, man, it's fuck the rich. They've had enough cake. Let's eat them. You know? I'm sorry, dude. Look. Like I said, I've worked at Amazon. And then I
I hear
see
you.
this jackass Jeffrey Bezos. He goes up into space, and then he goes up into space with William fucking Shatner. All right, all right, all right. He takes Captain fucking Kirk up to space, and then when you see Shatner having that moment, that epiphany that they say the astronauts all say they have, like that was crazy. I just seen the ball that we lived on, like, not like it was just a ball in a fucking void. And that's where we
Mm-hmm.
all he was having that moment because he'd just seen it. This jackass comes up with a bottle of champagne, woo, and has no like what kind of sociopathic psychopath, motherfucking crazy, creepy, don't give a damn about anything are you to be able to do that and have you're just like, oh, I got to space. I love that NASA raised the fucking limit to where he didn't get to call himself an astronaut. I think that is the funniest thing that NASA has ever done in its history. Is they were like, oh, you think you're gonna be an astronaut, Jeff? Hey, take that up like another 10,000 feet, will you? All right, cool. All right, no, you're not, Jeff. Like that. That was awesome. Yeah, but I mean,
That's
how?
pretty funny. I didn't know they did that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they pushed it above where he was going, so he couldn't claim that.
But yeah, I saw that video. It definitely gave me some feelings. Didn't love it. Pretty not cool move. Not great.
That's the greatest understatement I think I've ever heard on this show. I'll
Uh,
be real honest, because that's what I'm saying. Like people say, the comic book market is so much less than it used to be, right?
mm-hmm.
Right. Well, let's take for the fact that you know what, way less people, like families, own homes nowadays. They're mostly owned by corporations and rented out. Um, so people aren't making the disposable income that they used to. So if they don't have the disposable income, yeah, all the entertainment fields suffer because if you don't have the disposable income, you're not going to go to the fucking theater. You're not going to buy the book. You're not going to buy the comic. You're not going to. So no. So yeah, dude, I'm very much, especially as someone that's an entertainer, and I know how many fucking plays I got, and I know what I've got paid for them. Yeah, you're goddamn right. I'm down for eating the rich. What the hell's wrong with you? Why wouldn't I be? Why are you not, for that matter? We're eating the rich,
Juicy.
right? Right? Cook up this
I
some
mean,
bit.
I'd take a bite. I'll take a bite if you got some.
I bet they taste like cake, man. I mean, that's all they eat, right?
You're cracking me up over here.
Like, look, just for anybody that wants more of my rambles on this, go listen to my music. Me and DKB, if we ever get really famous, we're both gonna die. I've already determined that.
Oh, jeez. Oh man. But yeah. I mean, I feel you completely on the sentiment, and I try to be positive about things because in reality, there's just so little power I have to affect anything. I can only do what I can do. I can only help the people around me. So I just try to maintain as much of a positive attitude as I can because, getting mad about it's just hurting me, really. I can't do anything to them. I can't hurt Jeff Bezos. I can't do anything to him.
We could all hurt Jeff Bezos,
I get,
but
yeah, and I see what
we
you
would
mean about
all
the
have to do it
collective action.
collectively.
But
Yeah. And that's the problem. There will never be a collective action because mankind as a whole, and I mean this has been played throughout comics, dude. It's the whole concept of what the X-Men are. They will always shun certain parts of one another and fight amongst themselves. And as long as we're doing that, yeah, it's easy to control. That's the goddamn art of war. Like fucking maybe if more people read that book, we as a whole society would be better off because they'd be realizing how much it's technically used against us psychologically on a fucking daily basis.
Yeah, that's very true.
You're like, what the hell kind of comic book interview is this? I can see you're like, this is not what I expected at all.
It is not what I expected, and I wish Jake was here because I know he would have something really insightful to say about this. This is his kind of jam. I need to call him up.
Yeah, well, tell Jake to get in touch with me. We'll bring Jake on down the line, that's for sure. Because I would like to dig more into why exactly he wanted to get into all that. Because he does definitely with that story seem like very much an eat the rich type of individual. And this is what I want people to understand too out there watching. When I say eat the rich, I mean all the fucking princes and kings and shit too, right? The royal family can fuck the fuck off. Yeah, I just lost everyone in Canada and the UK right there. And that sucks because I actually know a lot of guys, great artists and creators in Canada. Shout out to all of them. Fuck, one of them's Mike Ruth, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, they just banned you from travel there. I'm sorry. You can't go there anymore.
Whatever. Hey, look, no, actually, I do. I mean, I know a lot of people up there that I'm gonna stop this. I don't want to because they are up there and I don't want to get nobody in trouble. Not that I'm mentioning any names. And if you can go through all the Canadians and figure out who I was talking about, fuck, kudos, man. There's been a lot of Canadians on this show. There really, really fucking has, man. But what I want to know is why you think Cable looks stupid, right? Like why you got a problem with Cable? Why and why weren't you just down with Deadpool from the get go? Why did it take you so long to come around? And when did you come around to Deadpool? I need to know these things.
Look, there's just something about that hyper steroid art that just rubs me the wrong way. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how to explain it. It just feels like too much. It's just too much. Like you've got so many layers going on, so many pouches, too many pouches, okay? And honestly, with Deadpool, you know it was the movie. That's the moment I came around because they did an amazing job adapting the character. And to be fair, he was a good character. I never said he wasn't a good character. I just don't like the design. Looking at me like that, throwing the shade, I can see it.
Yeah, man. Like that's my Wade Wilson's my dude, man. Like I think it's funny that there are so many people that they're like they've seen this movie. Deadpool's awesome, and I'm just sitting here like, dude, Deadpool's been awesome. I don't know what y'all are talking about. Deadpool's been awesome for a long, long time, man. Like the fact of how much that character, I love that character for the fact that it's like he was kind of terrible. He wanted to be good. He was good. He was good. He was good. But he's always screwing little things up enough to where nobody ever really, really trusts him. Even though, and holy shit, I want to see them. I mean, I think they might kind of be doing it in the MCU right now with the preview that I just seen for the Deadpool versus Wolverine movie or Deadpool and Wolverine movie. um, when like there's been several moments where shit's really going down. And that's who they call on to stop it. But he doesn't even get credit for it when he does.
Why would he?
Deadpool's been awesome. And then you
I
just don't
believe
like
it.
so you don't like super jacked characters.
I
All
mean,
right.
you're asking me why I didn't like something when I looked at
Uh,
it when I was 10. Okay, I didn't
uh,
have deep opinions about it. I just thought, ew, that's gross.
okay. Okay, well let's ask you this. What do you think of like Vampirella or Lady Death?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you and say I'm a huge fan.
Okay. Because I mean that's obviously just females, but in the same exaggerated. You know what I mean? Like it's the exact
Yeah,
opposite, polar opposite of Cable. That's why I asked because that's exactly what it is, and I was just curious. I mean, I like
you're wondering
Lady.
if I was a hypocrite and I like the hypersexualization on one gender but not the other.
I might have been trying to catch you a little bit in that.
No, I think it's pretty fair to say that I feel a little uncomfortable with comics that are not meant to be erotic. with such obviously, like, how do I say this, titillating artwork. Like, there's a time and a place. I don't mind it. I just feel like it doesn't really belong in my adventure with colorful characters punching each other. You know, it's kind of different vibes for me. Some people, they mix them together. You know, some people it's the same thing. It's just not my personal bag.
I mean, I think you've got to try and do anything to get it in the reader's hands to a certain degree.
That's fair. I'll give you that.
And
It
yeah,
milks the books.
and sex is always sold, man. I mean, look, and if
Yeah.
it gets if a chick that's got like a bit of exposed cleavage and that gets the kid to pick up and read the comic, and then hopefully they actually enjoy the comic and get into the story of the comic, and then it promotes literacy, and um I have no problem with that in that regard, you know. But as far as
Right.
personal opinions, that's completely fine. But I I mean I understand hypersexualization and why they've done it, because it's what attracts a human eye, and that's exactly what they're
Oh,
trying to
yeah,
address.
that's it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a reason fucking Dwayne Johnson's huge in, fucking movies, you know? I mean, it's because of how they're fucking jacked and shit. Like, I could name a bunch of fucking people on that regard. Yeah. So we can't ever see you just like drawing Batman's wang or anything like that, though. Is that what you're saying?
Again, there's a time and a place. You'll never see it in Astounding Tales.
Oh, but you got a wang book coming out, huh?
I don't have a Wang book coming out. I'm just saying that I would never discount the possibility. There's been many a time when I thought, why am I wasting my time? Why don't I just draw what people actually pay for?
Hey, look, but I mean, then, like, have you read Dead Romans?
No, I haven't.
Great book, but does have a fair amount of nudity. But
Mm-hmm.
it's nudity it's done properly within the story. But it also brought up a point. I think it was Fred. I was having this conversation with Fred Nick. It's funny if you think about it. Like, if you see nudity in a superhero situation, it's odd, right?
It can be if it's
Uh,
done in a way that's not sexual. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Okay. So, did you watch Game of Thrones?
Yeah, of course.
Did you like it?
Of course. Well,
Okay.
at first. Till the end.
Okay. Well, whatever. You enjoyed it for the most part, at least a couple seasons were, right? Why is it nudity is more acceptable in situations like that, where the show Rome, or something where it's fucking castles and this and that, than it is if you put it in a modern situation? You ever notice that?
Uh, I would argue that they had sexual situations, but it wasn't like everyone was walking around in their bra and panties every scene. You know what I mean? I think that's the difference, because if you're in a superhero book and they're wearing those, skimpy leotards every single moment, like just walking out in the daylight, it's like, this is kind of weird that you would like do a second glance if you saw that in real life, but nobody's gonna even say anything here, huh? Okay.
I mean, fair enough, because like if you think you were Storm flying up, and like it's not like she's impervious, you would want to wear something that would yeah, guard you a little, and yeah, or like
You would think
somebody.
she would get cold. I mean, it's windy up there.
Now at the same time, she can control the weather to the point you think she could just keep it warm around her.
She probably could. That's fair. She is a goddess. She's got all the power in the world. I'll give you that one.
Yeah, so yeah. Got you, man. What got you started reading comics? Period.
Well, when I was 16, I worked at a uh, theme park as a character artist, and one of my coworkers handed me a book. The book was Bone, and he's like, "Hey, you should read this." I was like, "All right, I'll check it out." And I read it, and I was like, "Oh, this is great. Not only is this great, this is what I want to do. I want to make something like this." Because I really didn't read comics before that. I mean, I had a few, but I wouldn't have called myself a comic reader whatsoever. But after that, I wanted more.
And so Bones always maintains your favorite comic, right?
Absolutely.
That just has been. What else is along the lines have you picked up? Because I mean, I can see where you're paying certain homages to certain characters within your drawings. Is this something from like where you did Scott, right? No, wait, what did you say the writer's name was? You fucking told me.
Oh, Jake.
Jake. I'm bad with names, y'all.
It's
I
okay.
thought we clarified that shit. But Jake, is it something where he's giving you direction as far as he wants inspired by a character, or are you giving a description and then you're kind of going into that and you're drawing on things that you've read?
Yeah, when we first started, he gave me like exact pages he wanted me to look at, ideas, artists to study, and I spent a good month studying like, classic styles because I'd never drawn that way. It's not something I was naturally comfortable with. But, he gives a lot of guidance, and that's what his specialty is. He has got near encyclopedic knowledge of everything going back to the 70s of comics. He's just, you know, freaking Megamind coming over here. He'll tell you a page and panel on anything that's happened, and
Oh,
so he can give me every reference I need.
you say that, and it makes me want to bring him and Tom Brevoort together and be like, who can stump who first?
That would be fun, and I don't know who I'd bet on.
You know Tom Brevoort, right?
I've heard the name. I don't know him personally, though.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you know of him. I didn't. Yeah, he's been on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
show.
yeah.
Great dude, but his knowledge in comic book industry is like I can't think of another person I've met that I would look at and go, no, you knew more. You know as much as Tom. Because Tom's like dates, books, numbers, artists. It's. I don't understand how it works, but you don't know who you'd bet on. That makes me like this is the questionnaire, the question edition. We're gonna see who can stump who.
Well, I'm such a novice compared to him. It stuns me. So I'd love to see how he compares to the expert. It would be really interesting to watch. I know that much.
Let him come on the show first before I arrange that. I feel like I should gauge his comic book knowledge before I'm like, Tom, this guy thinks he can stump you because I know. Look, if someone
He
will,
did never say that. Let's just, for the
all right.
record, put words in his mouth. Jake did not say that.
And nor did I, for that matter. I don't think I could stump Tom Brevoort. And I think if I managed it, it would be on some obscure book that that wasn't like. I know I couldn't stump him on a Marvel or DC for a fucking fact, and I really doubt Image as well. I don't know where his depth goes there though. Uh, Maybe on something real current, like I just read this, I can get Tom on it because it just came out and he hasn't had time to read it yet. Yeah, that would be the way I would manage to stump Tom Brevoort, being an asshole and using something that came out last week because
Right.
he doesn't have time to read everything. And what are the like, and I figure I got like at least a 50-50 shot that maybe he didn't.
You just gotta pull out some underground comics, something that nobody's ever read except 50 people printed on a little.
Sorry, you just gave me a terrible idea. But look, I mean, like I said, I've collected comics like my entire life, and I know they made Triple X comics. And I think when I was like 19 or something, I was like, I just want to see one of these. You know, like I
Sure.
because I'd read Marvel, I read a little DC, was never a fan. Image, Top Cow, Dark Horse, like just I'd read so many comics at that point, and I'd always enjoyed them. I was just kind of like, I want to see one of these. Right? I could pull that out and talk to Tom about it. I don't think he'd know.
What if he was just like, "Oh, I love that issue.
I would
It's a
be
good
like,
one."
I would put it down and walk the fuck away and be like, this is the end. I would be like, this is the end of the Stump Tom Brevoort segment. It's over. No one can stump Tom Brevoort. I think he's a goddamn machine of comics. Like, that's
Well, the more you
no,
talk, the more I think I probably betting on the wrong horse. But I don't think it would be like a not a close race. Jake's
all I
gonna
know.
listen to this later. He's gonna be like, Raymond, I'm gonna kill you.
Like you're saying, you're saying you would bet against me against Tom Brevoort. You don't. And you go to his website. Go to Tom's website. I'll
Okay.
s- I'll send it to you, and you should just like you could spend I think a year on there and just gather information from all areas. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous, man. So what did you do when you're going into research? What comics did you end up specifically getting into? Was there anything? I mean, obviously, I would assume. Can I guess some of the references and
Yeah,
see
go
if I'm
ahead.
right? The Rocketeer.
Yeah, definitely Rocketeer.
All right. Um,
How
whatever
did you
the heck.
know?
I don't know, man. I just, you know, yeah, yeah. That's the other one. I felt like I was like, that's a little heavy-handed. I'm really just, man. Damn it. I want to ask questions that I know you won't have the answers to, or you're like, I ain't elaborating on that. I'll let him do it because, like, it just looks like very much a setup, and you're planting seeds, and I just, Do you know how far
Sorry,
this
you're
is
hearing a little
planned?
singing in the background. We've got a performer here.
You have a performer,
Yeah, my daughter's decided she can't wait for me anymore, so she's coming to eat.
and you said singing.
Yeah, she's singing, but it sounds like you can't hear it, so it's okay.
Like singing? Who the hell's like? Tell her I'll put her on a track. Don't fuck around. Yeah, but man, I say like, can I say? Well, I don't get the. Even if you're researching old comics, you got into Bone. You obviously got into like. Are you a Marvel or DC guy, man?
Do I have to pick?
No, but it's typical that one leans to one more than the other. But if you don't, that's fine. I would find that very, very rare occurrence. But like I said, I mean, just or you could be, an other guy. I technically, in all honesty, I read way more like of Image and Boom, IDW, things like that than I do of anything
That's the
else.
category I'm in. That's what I was about to say. It's
Okay,
all about the third tiers for me.
that's completely fine as well. Yeah, I think, yeah. I mean, but how about are you more Marvel or DC? Is there one of those two you reach to more than the other?
I think if we're talking specifically about references in the comic, it's going to be more Marvel because I spent most of my time with the Fantastic Four. If I'm going to be really honest with you, that's where we're drawing a lot of the the family, the superhero aspects of that. That's kind of sorry,
What?
sorry about that. Oh, you didn't see the little gremlin?
No, because I seen something out of the corner of my house and looked real quick, and I don't know. There might be. Do I need to edit out the gremlin?
You might need to edit her out. She's being a pain. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Well, hey man, life occurs, and this has been a hell of a quest. But the Fantastic Four, that's intriguing, man. I'm very curious to see how far you guys got this planned out.
So he currently has 4 issues written. We also have like it's not really an anthology, but it's sort of a collection of shorter adventures that revolve around, tertiary characters that we would like to maybe shop around with a few different artists so that, we can bring in some variety. But, I would like to get to at least 5 so we could have enough to make a nice little trade. After that, who knows? It just kind of depends on how long that takes and where we are in the world. I mean,
Well,
obviously, we'd like it to go as long as possible. It's a lot of fun.
yeah. I mean, I could see that, man. I think creating if you're able to create comics for a living, what
Hmm.
what a way to make a living, really. Like, is it interesting to you though how much the market's changed? Well, you said how old are you, man? Can I date you, Raymond? Now, can I get how old you are? Hold the fuck on. I'm married, bro. Let me scratch that shit
I
right
am as
quick.
well.
I
I've
said,
got.
okay,
I
okay. So,
apologize.
no, I don't give a fuck. What, man? How old is you, man? Look, can I carbon date you? How about that?
Right. Well, I'm in my 30s. I will say I'm turning 34 here in about 3 weeks or so.
Okay. So you've seen the comic market change in a lot as far as in since you started reading when you were 16 compared to now. What's
Hmm.
your thoughts on how much it's differed from what it was? Because I mean, now, like, look, man, when you were 16, if you were trying to do this, you would have had to shop it around to publishers, and that would have been a whole pain in the ass process. As opposed to doing it now, you can do how you're doing with any crowdfunding source, which there's lots and lots and lots of them. What do you think that's done to the overall comic market as far as just making it to where it does allow everyone to get in, but do you think it causes any problems? And what do you think are the positives of it? I know there are many.
So I am going to say that I am a huge proponent of the indie model, of the Kickstarter model specifically, but any crowdfunder. I like the idea that we don't need to wait for a middleman to make stories that people will love. Publishers are great, but at the end of the day, if you can make your little island with your 100, 200 people who love what you're doing, that's good enough for me. I think it's definitely been a huge change. But maybe not as big a change as one would think. There's always been indie producers. There's always been zines that were made on photocopiers. So it definitely has fragmented the audience. It's definitely harder to have a wide release if you're not already there. Even the huge successes you think of when you think of like a Kickstarter, like how many people really know their books? I bet it's not more than a couple thousand. Maybe 10 at the most. It's a small island.
Now, I will say I can bring up one
Hmm.
great example of someone who used a Kickstarter and had several times and then ended up getting the book picked up by Image, and that's Erica Schultz with the
Right.
Deadliest Bouquet. She
Right.
actually, yeah, initially started Kickstarting it, but then it became an official Image release. I got the Kickstarter edition because I
Yeah, I
love
remember
that
when
book.
that launched.
Yeah. So there are situations where I think if you get funded on Kickstarter and it really really goes, then you can get it to where it does far reach a far larger audience. But and that's I mean I'm the one situation I'm bringing up. It's like, look, man, there's she got picked up by a bigger publisher. So yeah, I guess that's kind of a bad example as far as
Well, that's the thing. That it proposes that the ultimate goal is always to get to a publisher, is always to get someone else to push your stuff instead of you. And yeah, that might be most people's goal. It's not personally mine. I don't view that as, the point.
no, I
The
just
point
say
is to have someone read the book.
I
If
would
I can
say
do
just
that, I'm happy.
yeah, I would just say get it to more people to read the book. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not even that to a publisher. I don't think that's necessarily important. I think um, it's the importance of being able to get it into the hands of more people so they read it. I think
True.
that sadly the way things are now, that's the easiest way to do that is via a publisher. Just because then you have people behind you. If you're doing it one handed, it makes it far more difficult because you have to handle every aspect. Um, I might know this because this might be a one man show. So it, I don't know, man. You wouldn't if somebody came up and told you, "Hey, man, I want to publish your guys' book." You guys don't think you can go with it?
Oh, if someone's going to offer me money, that changes everything. Yeah, I'll do it right away. I'm just saying that I don't necessarily think it's something I have to do to be satisfied in my own creative journey. I'm not saying I wouldn't do it.
Your quick answer to that.
Funnily enough, we discussed this exact thing. We did a live stream for the Kickstarter launch a day and a half ago, and this exact question came up, so I was ready for it.
I mean, fair enough, man. I can't be mad at you. And I will say, on a note of something though, when you did choose the best world, I think almost anyone has as far as to live in. Since I've added that question to the questionnaire, because and I was talking to this with our last guest in the most previous episode, man. Uh, most of the time, it's like I was like I'm just asking people where they want to go to die. because people were picking, you know, universes where if you're a normal person, your
You did.
probability of living any kind of life is pretty short. And you're like, Care Bear. And I'm like, well, I guess this one gets to live.
Or My Little Pony. I'm not picky. Whatever.
Man, you just trying to get me to bring up Tony Fleece more?
Oh man, you got an impressive Rolodex. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
Thank you. It's been a privilege to talk to all of them. It really has, yourself included. Look, I didn't do something on our last interview, and I'm slightly annoyed about it. So I need to make sure I do it this time, because we gotta let everybody know out there that, and you son of a slow ass bitch.
What
Yeah,
did I do to you?
not you. I don't know your mom. I wouldn't just randomly insult your mom like that, dude. I mean, I am the unknown factor. I am a little screwy. I know I can be an asshole at points. I try to keep the I try to keep the hip hop side like mostly chill while I'm doing the comic book thing. If I'm doing the hip hop side of thing, like if you catch me on like an interview where I'm talking about my music and shit, and they want to talk, then I'll go to a whole different like level of like, yeah, you, buddy. All right, like that's like because it's just
That's
look.
when you start dissing the moms.
Well, yeah, because look, man, let's be real honest. Like in hip hop, things happen. In comic books, people bitch at one another, right? Like it's very rare that another creator is going to punch another creator in the face. I'm not saying that it hasn't never happened. It has, but if you compare it to the crap that happens in hip hop, it's not comparable. You know,
Maybe a
people.
different level.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit. I know no comic creator ever got shot for something he said. All right, like I'm, I am
So
absolutely.
far. So far.
Look, I'm surprised that maybe the guy from Mouse, I could see him maybe if you did something to that level that was that political, that could perhaps get you shot. But I mean, unless you're doing something like that, yeah, like that's the only thing I think. Have you read Mouse?
Of course.
Ah. I just recently got it from my library and read it, man. It's it, it I see why the only thing that annoys me about it is people didn't look at it and go, "Oh, comics are literature." They went, "Oh, this is literature." No, you asshole. Comics are literature. But that's a whole different point altogether. Yeah.
That's the eternal struggle, man.
Yeah, but I just want to say if you've enjoyed this interview with Rich, right? What I want you to do is I want you to send him the Mothman to his door, right, with a big old plate of ribs, mashed potatoes, and corn, right? Yeah, with a Reese's, Twix, Hershey's dark chocolate, all mixed together in one bar for dessert, right? And just to top it off, right, where the fuck? Yeah, throw in a Riders Lego set, just a whole set of them, right? That's if you've enjoyed this interview. You send him the Mothman with all that shit. I ain't saying it again. It was a lot. Rewind it if you need to hear it again, man. Get a pen, y'all. Write it down. Now, if you didn't enjoy this interview, right? And for some reason, man, you just really, really, really didn't like Raymond, right? Everyone loves Raymond, but if you didn't, right? What I want you to do, woo, is I want you to send him Pennywise. Why is everyone so terrified of Pennywise? I do not understand, right? Just smelling of sauerkraut. I really don't understand why everybody's so fucking terrified of Pennywise, though, right? Yeah, and make him feel up all yellowy green like he's just been up in the sewer, right? Right? So Pennywise, smelling of sauerkraut, just all like he's just been sludging through shit. So he's got that nice odor of that too, that nice hue of yellow brown going on, just a sauerkraut stink coming on top of it, right? And
Why are
why
you
is
doing this to
everyone
me?
why is everyone afraid of Pennywise? I don't understand. That is one supernatural creature, I mean, that I look at and I go, yeah, no, dude, piss off. I guess it's that. I guess it's the same thing with Freddy Krueger, but
Have you read the book?
I tried to. I
Okay,
did
because
not.
I'm not scared of the movie version. It's the book. And also, the Mothman is here. We got him here for you.
Look, man, I will bring an undead Logan and an undead Wade to the party. Y'all don't want
Perfect.
none. For real. But look, beyond that, I want you all to do three things, right? One, go check out all the links in the description, right? Two, give it that thumbs up. Three, all you metahumans and mutants out there, have a good night, y'all.
Like to play it like Wade. Fuck Batman, I got the key. Superman is a little bit.
Well, shit. I'm Mark Verheiden. Check out the questionnaire. What time? Wednesday at 7 on the internet, which is on your computer. And that's really a good thing. PC, it's probably better than Apple. Enjoy. Watch it all. It's good. This week we talk about Popeye versus Alien. So coming soon.